Hello, my love. Welcome. My name is Nico, and in this channel, I talk about how to improve your studying skills and mindset so you can learn languages more effectively. So this video is essentially going to be a introduction so you can know who's behind the camera. So I have been studying languages since I was 14 and I am 25 now. So for about 11 years, I've studied 7 languages, all to differing degrees. And here is my dog, Jasper. Okay, so she's joining us today. So I began with Spanish and English simply because my family is Hispanic and they raised me speaking Spanish. And I went to school in America, so my education was all in English. I like to say that they're both my mother tongues. Then in high school, I studied Italian, and in university, I studied French and Korean. And after university, I studied Japanese and Portuguese. Now, all of these languages I know to varying extents, different levels. So I feel most comfortable with English, Spanish, and French. For Spanish, I can't give you a definite level, but for French, I'm definitely at a high B2 level, I would say. And for Italian, I would say it's like a B1. For Korean, it's like a little bit of a high beginner. And for Japanese, definitely beginner, definitely. And Portuguese, I would say it's also beginner, kind of like a A2 level. So if you don't know what those levels are, they're the Cepher levels, and essentially they categorize your fluency into 3 degrees. First is A level, which is beginner, so you have A1 for absolute beginner and A2 for upper beginner. Then for intermediate, you have B1 and B2. So B1 is lower intermediate, B2 is higher intermediate. And then you have the advanced levels, C1 and C2. So C1 is you're really fluent in the language, like you can converse and get around in the country, but C2 is almost close to native speaker, if not native speaker. So why did I want to study these languages? Well, for Spanish and English, again, I grew up with them. But for Italian, I was in high school and we were given the option to either study French or Italian. And I decided to go with Italian because of my family heritage. We have some origins in Italy, and I was curious about that. And then in university, I started Korean because I got interested in K-pop, K-dramas, very standard introduction to Korean culture. And then I started learning more about the history, and the fascination just stuck with me. Then I started Japanese because I was curious about it, and I forgot French. So, to give some more context for French, I minored in French. I lived in France for a few years, and I go back every year for a few months. And then, yes, and then for Japanese, again, it was just out of curiosity. It's quite close phonetically to Spanish, so it was out of curiosity that I decided to learn about it. For Portuguese, it was because my mom grew up in Brazil for a portion of her life, and she seems to brighten up, her eyes light up whenever she speaks Brazilian Portuguese. And I wanted to connect with her in that way. I thought it'd be fun. So, how did I learn these languages? It was a mix of self study, institutionalized learning, and the use of online tutors, specifically with italki. Now, if you don't know what italki is, it's this superb website where you can match with a tutor who either has been teaching the language professionally or is just teaching it because they know it, and they can be from anywhere in the world, and the prices are honestly fantastic, and they're available at many different hours depending on who you match with, or who you select, better said. And it is honestly super, super worth it. I've been using it for years, and I will continue to use it for years because I think it's such an invaluable resource. So, what were my goals for learning these languages? For Italian, again, it was because of my heritage. For French, it was because I wanted to speak to close friends and their family members and possibly use it for work. For Korean, it was because I wanted to, as cheesy as it is and how, and like as basic as it is, I wanted to like sing along to like favorite songs, understand things without reading subtitles, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But then I started reading poetry and literature that originated from South Korea, and the idea came to me that if I learned the language more profoundly, that I'd be able to understand these texts in their native languages in the way that it's supposed to be understood. But that implies understanding cultural nuances and getting to a high level in those languages. So essentially, that's part of my current goal right now, to try to reach as the maximum fluency as possible for each of these languages, so I can enjoy the media and the literature and all of the cultural pieces to the best of my abilities. And the other reason why I wanted to learn these languages was because I was originally studying to become a doctor, to go to med school. And I thought that if my patients knew a language that was different from what was commonly spoken in the area that I lived in, then I wanted to be able to connect with them in a deeper way, to build a more profound level of trust, because we can connect linguistically at the very least. And the reason why I believe this is because if you're able to speak the native language of someone else, then you're able to speak directly to their heart rather than their brain, where translation needs to occur and where things can get lost in meaning or again in the nuances. And so I wanted to be that bridge between medicine and the needs of my patients. But this goal of mine to connect with people evolved. So not only for work, but also to make friends, to be able to speak to people in a deeper fashion, because it's so easy to not know how to express yourself in another language, that when you're able to express yourself in your native language, it just like the words, they come out like a waterfall. It's You're able to express yourself at a much deeper level in a way that you can't do it if you had to translate it. And I want to be able to give people that opportunity to fully be themselves. And I think it's worth the effort to be able to participate in those kinds of conversations. So that's it for this self-introduction. Thank you for listening. And in the next video, I will be speaking about the importance of mindset and the purpose of language. Thank you for being here today. I hope you have a beautiful day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in this world. Please know that you have someone who believes in you and who wants to join you in this language learning journey and in the journey to be your best self. Because when you learn a language, when you learn any habit or anything in reality, you're developing yourself. You're giving yourself an opportunity, a chance to expand your possibilities, your beliefs, your persona, to expand yourself, period. And I want to see you do that. I want to be with you as you do that and as I do that. So please join me in this journey. I know it's going to be super fun. And we'll have Jasper here with us as well. Thank you. I love you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.